Okay, we'll start out on a little recon mission here and see the river through the trees. I'm gonna head on down there. So if you watch my last video, I was right there on that side, the inside bend of the river. I've moved and I'm coming down to this part right here, and actually you can see way over there in the distance those two big gravel bars. I'm waiting to get out there, still pretty high. So I'm going to check it out here. We're in the outside bend at the end. Should be really small float gold that's stuck in this bend, and I want to see if I can get it. And if you've been watching these videos, although I'm doing some comparison testing, I'm also really enjoying myself making changes, doing exploration, the challenge. I mean, my recovery numbers aren't that big, so there's no money here, but it's having a real good time. Alright, I hopped on down. Check this out. This is what I'm going to go for. See, there's a ledge here where the high water mark was taking it out during the flood. All this gravel is in the bank. And you can see how nice and light it is. Very easy digging, unlike that last stuff that was just brutal. You can see there the gravel is running right into this bank. And it's run all the way down to the bottom. So that whole bank is once the bottom of the river, but when you look back you can see where I am. Big outside bend coming, and here's the gravel deposit. Like I said, last time I was over there on the inside where that really hard rock was. I'm hoping you can see that. See it coming off, and see the fast water there? And then right in front of me, it's almost stopped. And then I get back out this way, and it's moving again. So we'll take this and wash it down. Okay, you can't see this, but there's no doubt there's gold here. I only got 2 pieces, little specks, probably -100s, in the pan. So the challenge that I'll have is seeing how far I can pull really tiny particles. I'm going to do another test at the end here. See where the gravel starts? Then there's a riverbank. It's just all muck. There's nothing there. Absolutely nothing. Okay, so I tested about 6 to 7, maybe as high as 8 specks per the pan. And when I'm doing this, I'm cleaning the pan out really good so I can really identify if I picked up more gold. So if I step back here, I'll come back and I'm going to try and take this whole piece out here and search for really small stuff. Back setting up, and if you ever wondered how I get my height so accurate, I have a bar here full of holes. You can see 8, 7, 6, these are all in inches. So when I dial it in, I know exactly how far from front to back and subtract my sluice length, and then that's how I get it. And you can see here, this bench, and this bench, as the river's been dropping down. So the front of this is what I'm going to be digging out. I did a lot more research, and what I noticed is that this whole basin up at the top is about 50 meters lower here than the ground level. Same with on the other side. Now I'm steep on the bank, but I think this is an old ancient gravel bar, as the river was out up to 250 meters in each direction, which is really good, even though I'm sitting here on the outside turn. And again, my last video, that was where the hard rock was. And working with no shirt, so make sure I use some of this Canadian suntan lotion. And you can see how deep it is just off my lay flat hose and pump there, where my suction is. It's almost straight down. So let's see how this old ancient bar does. And I'm set up, and I'm also going to try running a little bit narrower. You can see I took 1 inch out of my legs there, so it'll be 2 inches per linear foot on the mat here this morning, running bare mat. The gold here is so flower gold and small that I think it'll help it a little bit. We'll see. And if you're wondering why I didn't head back to that hard rock point, it is simply because this gravel is really easy digging and it's not all about the grade, so why not? Okay, there's my first hole. So grade might be lower, but I can shovel a lot more gravel. And I'm happy with the way the mat's cleaning out at this slope. So now if someone can just volunteer to shovel that much wet concrete, we'll be good to go. So 25 minutes for my shutdown. And my last little riffle here still catching a lot. I'm thinking about cutting it out. And the mat, it's pretty empty. I hope a lot comes out of it. So there's a first test pan from my first clean out. And you can see all the flour gold there at the end. So that was working good. I think I'll keep going. Alright, here comes old dirty. Under 1/2 inch expanded metal. No change in slope. 2 inches. Shutting it down, starting to dig into some coal there. It's kind of cool. Here's the top of the moss. A little bit piled up there, but not too bad. Underneath you got quite a bit. Back to hog mat here, 1/2 an hour. I've just come to play ahead of the ancient gravel bar. You can see these layers here. A layer here, there's a nice layer here, and then where we've been wearing it away. So there you go, hard rock. I found it. So I thought I'd show you something really neat with the new Gold Hog Razorback mat. You can see the small riffle causing the action, and this is just running off a small bilge pump, about 80 gallons an hour I think. But here's the riffle action, and if I move forward, you can actually see the little micro traps that are also rippling away. Now I'm going to switch to a different mode here. Before I do, see that little piece of -100 there? And there's another one over here. They're having a hard time walking up that little ramp. So I've took a razor knife and I've cut the riffles out of the first two to see how that increases performance. And they're actually staying put there now that that little riffle's cut out, which is quite nice. I see it gathering on the second one as well. There's a total of three sections in here right now. So I've gone ahead and installed another section of it, and again cut the little riffle out. They're not very big, and it's just making an outstanding cleanup mat. This is with the water stopped. I'll just move it down a bit, and you guys can have a look here. See all that? That's just before it walks up the ramp, and there's particles in there. You can see some of the purple garnets They're also hiding out. This is all screened to about -20. And as you come down the mat, it starts to not show as much gold, which is good. There's still a little bit. I might put one more section in yet. And then I've just taken them out and I'm gonna wash them out. Here's all the Miller Table gold hog cons. Alright, and there's our gold hog recovered gold. Okay, screen the cons down through -20 screen. I'm gonna rerun them, see if I missed anything. So in my rerun, there's just very, very trace amounts. Got most of it. And I got some super fine cons. And then I'm just gonna gob it down on a Miller table and eventually brush it up and vacuum it up. So I'm not gonna bother doing a weight comparison test because I screwed up the gold hog weight. But from visual inspection, it would appear that it's almost the same. And it was also one of the first times I had the gold hog mat operating what I would consider properly. And so to see it the same, or maybe even slightly more in this instance, it matched my expanded in my moss and produced a lot less cons. So I'm getting there. And just as I pack up all this mess, one thing for sure is that that side of the river does have gold, pretty low grade, but fantastic gravel.